I am Yvon Gégou from INRA in France, member of XtreemOS consortium. In this tutorial, I will demonstrate how a grid based on XtreemOS can be configured easily and securely. Grids are made of a set of services which must be configured in a coherent way on all nodes of the grid. And configuring the grid node by node is very risky, as we are never sure that the whole grid is coherent. For XtreemOS, we have defined a configuration tool which is run on all nodes of the grid with the same configuration files. So we are sure that all nodes are configured based on the same configuration. Some of these files define the classical data that must be installed on all nodes, such as root certificates, service certificates, information about overlay, for instance, Bootstrap node for overlays. But the major part of the configuration tool is concentrating in two files, the node type file and the service file. The node type files defines the group of node, the type of node, and all the nodes of the same type are running the same services. The service file defines which services must be run on all nodes of each type. Here I show the type of node defined for the permanent testbed, which is running in the labs of the XtreemOS consortium. For this testbed, we define a VO management type of node, which is in charge of managing users and virtual organization. Currently, there's a single node of this type in the testbed, and it is running in UK at FTSE. We also define a head node which supports major critical services such as XtreemOS, a grid system, and some core services. And this head node is running at INRA in Rennes, in France. And then we define the resource node types, which is defines which node provide resource to the application. In this file, we define that these three nodes here running at INRA in Rennes are resource node. But we also define that all nodes which are not explicitly listed in this file are of type resource node. This allows us to configure large grids because in general the majority of the nodes are resource nodes. To complement this description, a second file, the service file, defines which service are running on each type of node. The VO management node type is running the VOLive service, which is a web service and provides means to manage users' virtual organization. The XVOMS database, which store the credential, which describe all users, and CDS server, which is a major service which is used to distribute certificate to users. The head node running in Rennes supports some major service like the job directory. The RCS server distributes certificate to resource. It certifies resource. We have a reservation manager. It supports also the VO policy system. It also supports the XtreemOS grid file system services. These are the major services running on the head node. And resource node support all services needed to execute the grid application, such as the execution manager, the resource monitoring, resource allocation, and SRDS, which is a major service because this is a distributed service, an overlay, in fact, which is used to discover resource. When we submit a job, from the job description, we try to find resource which can execute this job. And this is an overlay. Many of these services are connected to a kind of system bus, and in fact all nodes need to run these three services which in fact implement the operating system bus. Once all these files have been defined, we just need to run the XOS autoconfig tool. And this tool first checks from the list of services which requested for the node. It has a list of packages that need to be installed. It checks that these packages are installed, and currently from the Mont River mirror for this demo. Then it updates the configuration files from the information provided in the XtreemOS autoconfig files, and restarts the service that need to be running there. In some cases, we need to be sure that some service has stopped before configuring it. That means that we try to stop it even if it was already stopped. We explain the failed here, but this is not a problem. So now the configuration of this node is finished and it is connected to the grid. In this step, I showed the configuration of the node, but if that means if we want to modify the configuration to move a critical service from one node to another, we just need to update the configuration files and to rerun the XtreemOS autoconfig tool on all nodes and to make them coherent. In this example, for instance, we describe an extra type of node, which is core node, which is in fact a head node plus VO management node. And so, for instance, if you want to transform the head node at in-area in a core node in order for it to support the virtual organization management, you need just to associate the core node type to this node in the node type file, and then rerun the XtreemOS autoconfig tool. In this case, it's enough to rerun it on the head node. In this tutorial, I showed the ease of configuration of the whole grid, whole XtreemOS grid. In the future, we plan to develop a graphical tool which will automatically generate all these files and probably replicate them from a graphical interface. The current configuration tool is already easy to use, so it's up to you to try it. Thank you very much.